Let's be honest. Most men have no idea what real love from a woman actually looks like. And it's not your fault. You've probably been taught that if she texts you good morning, buys you a gift once in a while, or posts a selfie with your arm around her, that means she loves you. But the truth? A woman can do all of that and still not love you. She can say she misses you while planning to replace you. She can smile at dinner while emotionally detaching. So the question isn't, is she sweet to you? It's, does she truly see and value you? Because real love, deep, grounded, feminine love doesn't need to be loud. It's not about drama, declarations, or fake intimacy. It's about consistency, energy, emotional investment. And if you don't know how to recognize it, you'll mistake performance for connection. You'll ignore the red flags. You'll chase after breadcrumbs. And worst of all, you'll start doubting your own worth. But not after today. Because in this video, we're going to break down 10 signs that a woman genuinely, deeply, unapologetically loves you, not tolerates you, not benefits from you, loves you. And we're not talking about wishful thinking or fantasy romance. We're talking Stoic clarity and psychological truth, what she does when no one's watching and what it means. So if you've ever asked yourself, does she actually love me or just love what I give her? This one's for you. Hit subscribe now. Let's rebuild your standards before someone else breaks them. Number 1. She gives you unconditional respect. Let's get something straight right now. A woman can be attracted to you, sleep with you, even say she loves you but still not respect you. And if there's no respect, there's no real love. Period. Respect is the foundation. It's what separates deep connection from temporary attachment. And the kind of respect we're talking about here, it's not transactional. It's not, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's unconditional. That means she respects your time, your space, your values, even when she doesn't agree with them. She may challenge you. She may question you. But she does it in a way that honors your manhood, not undermines it. Let me show you what I mean. Take Michael, 42, divorced, 2 kids. He's been dating Kendra, 38, for about 5 months. He's been rebuilding his life, working out, running a small business, healing from a toxic marriage. He's grounded, focused, no longer willing to tolerate chaos. One day, Kendra wants him to cancel his morning gym to go with her to some early brunch with her friends. Michael politely says, I can't make it, I've got my non-negotiables. We'll catch up later. And here's the key. Kendra doesn't guilt him. She doesn't pout. She doesn't test his loyalty. She says, all right, I respect that. Let me know how the workout goes. Now that's real feminine energy. Because a woman who truly loves you respects your mission. She respects that you have a center that isn't her. And she doesn't try to pull you off it. You see, most men fall into the trap of thinking they have to earn respect every single day. But when a woman truly sees you, she respects your essence, not just your output. She sees your decisions as strong, even if they're not perfect. She sees your silence as calm, not weakness. She sees your standards as a strength, not a threat. This kind of respect doesn't scream for attention. It shows up in how she speaks about you when you're not around. It shows up in the way she lets you lead, even when she's capable. It shows up in the trust she gives you, not because she's blind, but because she believes in your character. And make no mistake, this doesn't mean she worships you or agrees with everything. It means she honors your masculinity. She doesn't try to mold you. She chooses you as you are. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. And when you are one, when you hold yourself like a man who leads with integrity and stillness, a woman who truly loves you will naturally meet that energy with respect. She doesn't respect you because you dominate. She respects you because you don't fold. And here's the truth a lot of men need to hear. If you constantly feel disrespected in your relationship, that's not love with conflict, it's incompatibility with hope. Real love doesn't talk down. It doesn't humiliate. It doesn't play power games. It builds. It strengthens. It creates space for you to be fully masculine and fully safe. So if you're with a woman who respects your time, your growth, your solitude, your standards, hold on to that. That's rare. But if she mocks those things, belittles your efforts, laughs at your values, that's not love. That's ego. Now I've got a question for you, and I want you to be honest. Have you ever been with a woman who made you feel less like a man, even when you gave her everything? Type it in the comments. I've felt that. Let's see how many of us have walked through that same fire. And don't worry, this isn't where your story ends. It's where it starts getting real. Number 2, she encourages your growth. There's a difference between a woman who likes who you are and a woman who believes in who you're becoming. A woman who truly loves you doesn't just enjoy your presence, she fuels your progress. She doesn't try to shrink you down so she can feel safe. She stands beside you while you level up, even if it means you might outgrow parts of your past or even parts of her comfort zone. Now, let's be clear, encouragement doesn't mean she claps every time you take a breath. It's deeper than cheerleading. It's the way she listens when you talk about your goals, the way she asks questions that push you forward, the way she notices the small changes, the new habits, the quiet discipline. She sees your growth not as a threat, but as a sign you're alive, expanding, evolving, maturing. And that kind of woman, she doesn't want to be the center of your world. She wants to walk beside you as you build it. Here's where the Stoic lens makes it all clear. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." A woman who truly loves you doesn't stand in your way. She doesn't distract you from your mission. She challenges the part of you that wants to stay small. She becomes a mirror, not always comfortable, but always honest. You might be working on your business, your body, your mind, your healing, and when she sees you slip, she doesn't nag, she reminds. She holds you to your standard, not hers. There's a deep kind of love in that, because it means she sees the man behind the mask, not the one who's already made it, but the one who refuses to settle. And when she believes in your potential, here's what happens. You stop hiding the uncomfortable parts of your journey. You talk to her about what's next, not because you need approval, but because her presence sharpens your focus. You feel free to grow at full speed, without apology. That's rare. Too often, men get into relationships that start off supportive, but turn quietly controlling. She liked you when you were figuring it out, but now that you've found a rhythm, she resents the time you give to yourself, your purpose, your vision. But a woman who truly loves you, she respects that you're not static. She understands that you won't be the same man a year from now, and she wants to grow with you, not compete with your progress. Even if it means sacrificing comfort, even if it means she has to face her own insecurities, even if it means you might shine in ways she can't control. That's real. And here's the most important part. She doesn't try to change you. She doesn't force it. Her belief in you makes you want to be better. You're not improving out of guilt, you're growing because her presence brings out the best in you. And that's not something you can fake. It's not something you can demand. It's something that shows up in the quiet moments when she notices your effort and says, "I see you." That's the kind of love that sharpens you, not softens you. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." A woman who encourages your growth is exactly that. She's not trying to own you. She's helping you become the man you were always meant to be. And if you've ever had a woman like that, you know it feels different. So here's your prompt. I've seen this. No. If you've experienced this kind of encouragement from a woman before, drop it in the comments. It's rare, and it's worth recognizing. Number 3, she listens to you intently. You can always tell when a woman's just waiting for her turn to speak, and when she's actually listening. Real listening is rare. especially for men. Most of us are used to being half heard. You start talking about something real, your work, your ideas, your pain, and her eyes glaze over. She shifts the topic. Or worse, she turns it into a story about her. But when a woman truly loves you, she tunes in. Not because she agrees with everything you say, not because she wants to fix it, but because she respects that what's going on in your mind matters. Take David, 46, a construction project manager in Colorado, recently divorced, 2 teenage daughters. He started seeing Riley, 39, a yoga instructor with a quiet strength. On their 3rd date, he told her something personal about how he was estranged from his father, how that shaped his sense of masculinity. He didn't expect much. Most women, he said, would say something like, "Yeah, that's tough," and move on. But not Riley. She leaned in, not just physically but emotionally. No judgment, no solutions, just stillness. She said, "That must have been heavy to carry as a young man." Then she just sat with him, present, soft, listening. That moment hit David harder than any romantic gesture, because for the first time in a long time, he didn't feel like he had to perform. He didn't feel like a provider or a project. He felt seen. Here's the truth. A woman who truly listens to you doesn't need to fill the silence. She understands that silence is part of your language, that when you open up, it's not for drama, it's because you trust her. And that kind of woman, she listens to understand your mind, not just your words. She notices your tone. She picks up on what you're not saying. She asks, "What do you mean by that?" Not to challenge you, but to deepen the connection. This is important. She doesn't listen just to support you. She listens because she values how you think, your logic, your perspective, your framework on life. That's respect. That's intimacy. That's love in its masculine-feminine polarity at its highest. Because let's be honest, if she only listens when you're in pain, but zones out when you speak about your vision, your strategy, your take on the world, she's not seeing you. She's seeing a role, a caretaker, a backup plan. But a woman who truly loves you, she listens like she's learning from you. Not because you're always right, but because you lead with depth. And when she listens like that, you find yourself wanting to open up more. Not to vent, but to share. There's a power in that. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." That's not just Stoic wisdom. That's the kind of balance that makes a relationship work long term. You feel safe. She feels trusted. You speak with strength. She listens with softness. And here's the thing. When you've had that kind of woman in your life, even just once, it ruins all shallow connections. You stop tolerating women who nod while scrolling their phone. You stop over-explaining yourself. You start expecting presence because you know it exists. So let me ask you, have you ever had a woman who listened so deeply it made you speak with more clarity? If that's you, comment below. I want this. Not just to speak, but to be heard without having to shout. Number 4, she trusts you with vulnerability. There's a moment, quiet, subtle, when a woman who's used to protecting herself lets her guard down. Not because you forced it, not because you demanded it, but because she feels it. You're a man who can hold space without turning it into control. That's when the real love begins. You see, vulnerability is a choice. Especially for a feminine woman. She's learned the world doesn't always respond kindly when she exposes her heart. So when she lets you in, when she shows you her fears, her past, her shame, it means she doesn't just like you. She trusts you. She's not asking you to fix it. She's not handing you her pain like a burden. She's letting you see her. And that only happens when she senses one thing: emotional safety. A Stoic man isn't just strong in action, he's strong in stillness. When she trembles, he doesn't mock. When she breaks, he doesn't rescue. He holds, he listens, he remains rooted. Like Seneca said, "A great mind is above insults. above pain, above all situations. That's the kind of man a woman can risk softness with. Not because he's perfect, but because he doesn't turn her rawness into weakness. Real love is messy. It's not just candlelight and laughter. It's late-night confessions. It's silent tears. It's the moment she says, "I don't know why I'm like this," and you don't flinch. And in those moments, how you respond tells her everything. If you get impatient, defensive, distant, she closes back up. But if you're steady, present, even when it's uncomfortable, she learns something powerful. You can see the parts of me I hide and still choose me. That's rare. That's sacred. Now, let's get practical. A woman who loves you doesn't just talk about her past or problems to gain sympathy. She opens up when it's costly. She admits the things she's not proud of. She expresses fears that make her feel foolish. She lets her feminine energy flow freely, without apology. And here's the key. She's not doing it to manipulate. She's doing it because she knows you'll hold it with respect. A man grounded in Stoicism understands this well. He doesn't let emotions control him, but he never denies them either. He sees her vulnerability not as something to exploit, but as something to protect. That kind of presence makes her bloom. She becomes more radiant around you, more feminine, more emotionally alive. Why? Because she doesn't have to be in survival mode anymore. She's not testing you, she's trusting you. And when that shift happens, the relationship deepens. She no longer needs to perform. She shows up as herself, messy, flawed, beautiful. And you rise to the moment, not with ego, but with strength. So, ask yourself this. Does the way you hold her emotional truth invite more of it, or shut it down? A woman who truly loves you will trust you with her softness, not because she's weak, but because you've proven your strength in silence. And if you've felt that shift, if you've had a woman let her guard down with you in a way that felt real, raw, and respectful, drop a comment. I felt that. When? Because in a world full of superficial games, that kind of depth is a sign she's not just with you. She's in it with you. Number 5. She prioritizes your well-being. There's a difference between a woman who wants you around and a woman who wants to see you well. When a woman truly loves you, it's not just about being in a relationship. It's about how you're doing, mentally, emotionally, physically. She doesn't wait for you to break down. She pays attention before you fall apart. And she doesn't just check in when things are bad. She notices your stress. She tracks your patterns, not in a controlling way, but in that quiet, nurturing way only a deeply feminine woman can. Take James, 52, an architect in Seattle. He's been working 12-hour days managing a new high-rise project downtown. His girlfriend, Clara, 44, is a high school art teacher, calm, grounded, no drama. James told his buddies he was fine, but Clara knew better. One night, he came home, exhausted, emotionally checked out. She didn't lecture him. She didn't say, "You never spend time with me." Oh. Instead, she left his favorite tea by the bed, put his phone on silent, ran a hot shower, then sat next to him not to talk, but just to be there. And later, when he finally opened up, she said one sentence that stuck. "I want you healthy, not just present." That's love. That's a woman who sees you, not just what you give. Now here's the subtle truth. When a woman truly prioritizes your well-being, it won't always be flashy. She might encourage you to get sleep instead of staying up arguing. She might push you to call your brother you haven't spoken to in years. She might recommend therapy or tell you to take a day off, not because she's tired of you, but because she can feel you're tired of you. And here's what separates her from everyone else. She doesn't make it about her. She doesn't say, "You need to take care of yourself because it's affecting me." She says, "I care about your peace, even if I'm not part of it right now." There's a Stoic thread in all this too. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life, It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. But even the most disciplined Stoic man needs someone who reminds him gently when his mind is slipping into chaos. And a woman who truly loves you? She'll notice when your self-care turns into self-neglect. She won't nag. She'll support. She won't coddle. She'll challenge with compassion. And you'll start to see the difference between a woman who wants you productive and a woman who wants you at peace. Because in today's world, where everything is about hustle and performance, a man who's loved for his being, not just his doing, that's rare. And if you've got a woman like that, protect her, cherish her, match her energy. Because love like that, it doesn't scream, it doesn't post about it online. It just shows up, every day, quietly, steadily. Now let me ask you, have you ever had a woman care for your peace more than her own comfort? If that's you, drop a comment. I've seen this. Because love isn't just how she feels about you. It's how she shows up when you stop feeling like yourself. Number 6, she defends you in your absence. Real love doesn't just show up when people are watching. It speaks up when you're not even in the room. And if a woman loves you in a real, grounded, and deeply feminine way, she protects your name when it's easy not to. Here's the thing. Anyone can act loving when you're around. They laugh at your jokes. They touch your arm at the dinner table. They post about you online. It all looks great until the moment you're not there. That's when the real test happens. Because when you're not in the room, the mask drops. And so many women, without realizing it, start letting other people shape how they talk about their man. They allow little jabs. They laugh along with subtle criticisms. They stay silent when they should speak. But a woman who truly loves you does the opposite. She covers you. She holds the line. She becomes your defender, even in your absence. She doesn't do it to impress you because you'll never know unless someone tells you. She does it because her loyalty isn't performative. It's principled. That kind of woman won't allow disrespect, even when you're not there to hear it. She'll shut down gossip. She'll correct lies. She'll say, "That's not true about him. You don't know him like I do." And that kind of loyalty isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's disciplined. Stoic love isn't about grand romantic gestures. It's about consistency when no one's clapping. As Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When someone speaks poorly of you, and she chooses not to react emotionally but to respond with calm clarity, that's Stoicism in action. She honors your character without needing to attack theirs. She defends you without lowering herself. This is the woman who doesn't let other women bait her into relating by tearing you down. This is the woman who doesn't treat your relationship like a joke in front of others. This is the woman who sees your flaws but still respects your presence even when you're not present. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean she sees you as perfect. It means she sees you as worthy of protection. Because when a woman truly loves a man, she doesn't just want him to feel safe around her. She wants his reputation to be safe too. And in today's culture, where sarcasm and public complaint have become the norm in relationships, this kind of loyalty is rare. But it's powerful. It says, "I don't need to agree with everything he does, but I refuse to let others reduce him." So here's the question. Has there been a woman who defended your name when it would have been easier to stay quiet? If you've experienced that kind of loyalty, say it loud in the comments. I've felt that. Led. Because the way a woman speaks when you're not around tells you everything about how deeply she feels when you are. And if you're with someone who protects you in silence, you're not just loved, you're respected. Number 7. She takes genuine interest in your passions. You can tell a lot about how deeply a woman cares, not by how much she talks about love, but by how deeply she listens to what you love. Because when a woman truly values you, your passions matter to her. Not because she shares them, not because she wants to control them, but because they light you up and that matters to her. Let's say you're like Mark, 42, from Colorado. Mark's passion is restoring vintage motorcycles. It's not his job, it's not flashy, but it's his peace, his focus, his quiet freedom. His ex used to roll her eyes every time he brought it up. Why waste money on old junk, she'd ask. Eventually, Mark stopped sharing that part of himself. He felt like his joy wasn't welcome. Then came Jessica, 39. First date. Mark mentioned the project he was working on, a 1968 Triumph Bonneville. Jessica didn't pretend to understand engines. She just listened. Asked why that bike meant something to him, what it reminded him of, what it felt like to ride something you brought back to life. That conversation, it wasn't about motorcycles. It was about intimacy, about presence, about respect. When a woman loves you for real, she doesn't need to become an expert in what you love. She just needs to care that it matters to you. She asks, she remembers. She sees how your eyes light up when you talk about it. She gets curious, not to control, but to connect. In Stoicism, this kind of engagement is tied to sympathies, the idea that all things are connected, and that what matters to one part of us matters to the whole. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings benefit to the hive brings benefit to the bee." When a woman values your joy, your growth, your why, she's telling you something. She's emotionally invested in your wholeness. And let's be clear, this doesn't mean she loves every detail of your hobby. She might not want to sit through 3 hours of you watching UFC or coding late into the night, but she won't belittle it. She won't compete with it. She won't act like your interests are childish or a threat. Because love isn't about controlling where you go. It's about honoring who you are. When a woman shows real interest in what fuels you, it's her way of saying, "I see you, the real you, and I care about the fire that keeps you alive." It's not the same as tolerating your interests. Tolerating is passive. Interest is engaged, and this kind of engagement is rare. It's easy to fall in love with who someone appears to be. It takes intention to love who they actually are, including the parts that have nothing to do with you. So ask yourself this: has she ever asked why you love what you love? Has she ever supported it not out of duty, but out of delight? If yes, then drop it in the comments. She sees what I love. Because when a woman pays attention to the things that bring you peace, challenge, and fulfillment, she's not just loving what you do, she's loving who you are. Number 8. She shows emotional consistency. Let's get real for a second, because this one separates infatuation from something real. Emotional consistency isn't flashy. It doesn't look like movie romance. It's not love bombing, endless texts, or roller coaster highs and lows. It's showing up the same way on Monday as she did on Friday. It's not punishing you with silence one day and then clinging the next. It's stability, it's maturity, it's emotional discipline. And when a woman truly loves you, that's exactly what she brings. You see, anyone can be sweet when they're in a good mood. Anyone can act supportive when life is easy. But when she's tired, triggered, insecure, or stressed, that's when her love is tested. That's when her true emotional foundation is revealed. Does she communicate with respect, even when she's upset? Does she choose clarity over chaos? Does she stay grounded, or does she weaponize emotion? These are not small things. They're signs of emotional intelligence and emotional investment. Because here's the truth. Consistency is how love becomes trustworthy. Without it, even the most romantic gestures become meaningless. You can't build a future with someone whose behavior resets every 48 hours. This is where Stoicism gives us a powerful lens. The Stoics believed in the power of equanimity, the ability to stay balanced, to not be controlled by emotion, even in chaos. As Epictetus wrote, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgment about things." So when a woman loves you from a grounded place, her love doesn't rise and fall with every mood swing. She might feel deeply, but she doesn't let her feelings dictate the relationship. She chooses to respond, not react. She takes responsibility for her emotional world. And that's a gift. Because here's what most men never realize. Consistency is sexy. It builds emotional safety. It allows you to relax, to lead, to open up without wondering, is she going to flip on me today? Inconsistent women might keep you addicted, but consistent women keep you centered. And the women who are capable of this kind of steady presence, they're not trying to manipulate. They're not trying to test. They're not looking for drama to feel alive. They're showing you something deeper, that they're emotionally available, emotionally regulated, emotionally reliable. When you find that, you don't have to guess how they feel today. You don't have to walk on eggshells. You don't have to fix a fire every time one sparks. Instead, you get to grow in peace. And peace, my friend, is not boring. It's the foundation of love that lasts. So take a second. Think about your relationship. Does her affection come and go based on her mood? Or does she love in a way that feels solid? Because when her emotions are steady, her love is safe to receive. Drop this in the comments if you've experienced it before. Consistency is clarity. Because once you've tasted the calm of a woman who knows how to stay, you'll never again settle for someone who only shows up when it's convenient. Number 9. She invests in the relationship. Here's a truth that's hard to swallow, but needs to be said. If you're the only one putting in effort, it's not a relationship, it's a performance. Real love? It's a two-way street. And when a woman truly loves you, she doesn't just receive. She invests time, energy, thought, sacrifice. Let me tell you a story. David, 48, divorced for 3 years, started dating a woman named Erin, 39. At first, everything felt great. She laughed at his jokes, showed up looking amazing, and was super affectionate. But a few months in, something didn't sit right. He noticed he was always the one planning dates, always the one texting first, always the one driving across town to see her. He brought it up gently, and her response? You're just more romantic than I am. But here's the thing, love isn't a personality trait. It's a commitment. A woman who loves you shows up for you, not just emotionally, but practically. She makes time for you, even when she's busy. She puts in effort, not just at the start, but when the newness fades. She contributes, whether it's cooking dinner, booking a weekend getaway, or just sitting with you when life gets heavy. She doesn't wait for you to lead everything. She finds ways to meet you in the middle. Why? Because she sees your value, and she's not trying to win a relationship. She's trying to build one. See, this is where so many men get it wrong. They confuse interest with investment. Just because she likes you doesn't mean she's in it with you. When a woman loves you, she starts thinking long-term. She starts imagining a life with you, not just a night. And that shows in her actions. Maybe she picks up something you mentioned weeks ago and surprises you with it. Maybe she rearranges her schedule to be there for your big day. Maybe she asks deep questions, not just about your past, but about your goals, your fears, your mission. And here's where Stoicism hits hard. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." A woman who invests in the relationship doesn't just talk about being supportive or different. She acts it. She invests in you because she sees something worth building with. And she's not keeping score, she's co-creating. Look, Erin eventually drifted away. David realized her attention was conditional. She liked being wanted, not being involved. But now, he's dating someone new, Jessica, 41. And she's the one surprising him with dinner reservations. She's the one remembering his work deadlines and cheering him on. She's not trying to be taken care of. She wants to take part. If you've ever been in David's shoes feeling like you're carrying the emotional weight alone, leave this in the comments. I felt this. End of chat. Because here's the deal. When she loves you, she doesn't make you beg for reciprocity. She brings energy, effort, and intention just like you. And when that happens, You stop feeling like you're chasing love and start feeling like you're building it. Number 10. She forgives your flaws and mistakes. Let's get real. No matter how strong, grounded, or stoic you are, you're going to screw up sometimes. You'll say the wrong thing. You'll miss a signal. You'll get short-tempered or distracted or too damn caught up in your own head. And when a woman doesn't love you, really love you, those flaws become ammunition. She'll use your mistakes as proof that you're not good enough. She'll bring up old failures when she wants to win an argument. And every crack in your armor becomes a reason to pull away. But when a woman truly loves you, she does something different. She doesn't pretend you're perfect. She just decides your imperfections are human, not disqualifying. That's real love. Forgiveness doesn't mean she lets everything slide. It means she's emotionally mature enough to separate the man from the moment. She can see when you're acting out of stress, not disrespect. She knows when to challenge you and when to simply hold space for your growth. Now this is key. Forgiveness isn't weakness. It's a reflection of strength, both hers and yours. As Epictetus once said, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. She's not reacting to every little misstep with drama. She's looking at the bigger picture, your character, your intentions, your effort. And you'll know it when it happens. You'll feel that moment where you've disappointed her, but instead of shame or punishment, you get honesty and grace. That changes how a man shows up. When you're loved like that, you want to be better, not because you're afraid to lose her, but because she believes in the better version of you already. It rewires something in you. Think about it. How many men have been in relationships where one mistake became a death sentence, where one off day turned into 3 days of silence or passive aggression? Now contrast that with a woman who pulls you aside, looks you in the eye, and says, I know that wasn't your best moment, but I also know who you are. That's powerful. That's healing. That's what builds a foundation. And yes, this kind of forgiveness only works when you own your mistakes too, when you're willing to reflect, adjust, and grow. Because Stoicism isn't about being flawless, it's about having the courage to face your flaws and do better tomorrow. If she loves you, truly, she doesn't need you to be perfect. She just needs you to be real and to keep showing up. Mistakes are inevitable. But when love is real, forgiveness isn't the exception, it's part of the rhythm. And that rhythm, that's where real connection lives. If even one of these signs showed up in your mind as you watched this video, then maybe what you had or still have isn't just casual. It's something deeper. But no matter where you are right now, single, healing, or building with someone, one truth remains. A woman can only love you deeply when you truly respect yourself first. That's the Stoic path. That's what we stand for here. So if you're ready to keep growing as a man, not just in relationships, but in self-control, clarity, and emotional strength, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.